Good evening, everyone. Before I start, if I've got an echo already, we okay? Before I start, can I take this opportunity to wish the Deputy Lord Provost, all our bailies, all our councillors, the Chief Executive, and all the officers of the Council a very happy New Year and all the very best for 2026. This is City Council. Roger, please.
Thank you, Lord Provost. Before the formal business commences this evening, please could I ask for your support with the following in the interest of the smooth running of these hybrid meetings. As regards personal devices, in order to minimise interference with the microphone and camera system, please would elected members, officers, members of the public and the press in the council chamber set any personal devices not required for council business, such as phones and tablets, to aeroplane mode during the meeting, or switch off Wi-Fi on personal devices, but continue to use mobile data, whichever is most convenient for them. This will help reduce congestion on the local Wi-Fi channels and improve stability. As regards video feeds on council chamber devices, the live stream video will continue to run on the main council chamber devices. However, to reduce Wi-Fi strain and improve stability, please would elected members, officers, members of the public and the press in the council chamber switch off the camera function within Microsoft Teams on their own devices during the meeting. And finally, a roll call procedure. To further reduce network traffic during the meetings, we will only call the roll in the event of a division. We will not call the roll for the purposes of the sit-in. Thank you for your support. Lord Provost, members of the Council, there is one item of business this evening, the minutes for information and record purposes.
Thank you, Roger. Are there any questions? Any comments? Nobody looking to get in? That's agreed. That's the City Council business. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year and welcome to the City Growth and Infrastructure Committee. Can I have the first item, please?
That's item 1, declaration of interest. Are there any declarations?
Give everyone a minute to get in. Okay, I don't see any declarations, so next item, please.
That takes us on to item 2, contract for the treatment of paper and cards. This is for approval.
I think this is fairly self-explanatory, but I'll take member questions. Bailey McPherson, please.
Thank you and a happy new year to everybody. In this agenda note, it indicates, quote, one bid was received and following the subsequent evaluation of the bid, the table below demonstrates that Smurfit Westrock Recovered Fibre UK had the highest ranking for cost and quality. Well, self-evidently, it would have the highest ranking because it's the only bid. And I was wondering if officers could give us some reassurance that we have actually obtained on behalf of the council taxpayer the best value, given that there's nothing to actually compare it against?
Thanks very much for the question, Bailey McPherson. I'll refer that to Catherine Conway. Catherine, please.
Thank you, convener, and thank you for the question, Bailey McPherson. So I can confirm that the contract was tendered via Scotland Excel Dynamic Purchasing System under Lot 2. So there was only one bid received. Thank you.
Thanks very much. That answers your question, Bailey McPherson.
No, it most certainly does not. I asked a very clear question. How was best value obtained? That answer did not answer that question. So could we try again, please?
I will refer that back to officers to go into more detail. Mr. Boyle, please.
Thanks, Convener. Thanks, Bailey McPherson. As Catherine's alluded, there was a tender process initiated. It's incumbent on those tenderers to actually to take that up. That didn't happen in this case. What I say, this is a highly specialised market. A paper and card has very limited processes that can undertake this work. We have got the benefit through this tender award, though, of receiving a significant rebate, which is detailed within the note of the agenda note. Thanks.
Okay, if I could come back,
Boyle.
if I could come back again
Bailey
on that.
McPherson.
Yeah, if I could come back again on that. Now, the point fundamentally is this. I fully accept that there is a per tonne rebate being received, but how do we know in agreeing to this tonight that this is in any way, it may well be good value, it may not be good value. And I have to say, I think the way the agenda note's worded is a little bit disingenuous about talking about the highest ranking for cost and quality when there is actually only one bid. Now, I'm very conscious of the fact that the contract will commence in less than a month. So I'm not minded to move that would defer it. But what I will ask, and I will speak to the Chief Executive about this, what I will ask is for an assurance that there will be a written explanation as to why officers concluded that this per tonne rebate what represents for the council taxpayers of the city good value for money. And can we possibly just have a look at the way we word agenda notes? Because self-evidently, it's just a little bit silly to say something as the highest ranking when it is the only bid that has been received. But as I say, I will speak separately to the Chief Executive about this out with this meeting. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments, Bailey McPherson. Councillor Flynn, please.
Yeah, thanks, Convener. Can I maybe ask Mr. Boyle to maybe clarify how long was the tender out for? Because obviously, if there's a tender out there, it's up to the opportunity for the businesses within the UK to make an application to tender or an interest to tender. And the fact there's only one tender, obviously that interest is only limited. As you said, it's a very specialised topic. Can you maybe just let us know is this unusual, this process that we've actually done in this particular case, or is this normal process for the council?
Thank you, Councillor Flynn. Mr. Boyle?
Thanks, Convener. Thanks, Councillor Flynn. I've not got the detail of how long the tender was open for, but yeah, indeed I can confirm that this is a highly specialised processing market. There's a very limited number of tenderers who are able to actually put forward a bid. We have had previous issues with a specific commodity where, in actual fact, up to a couple of years ago, we were paying a significant sum of money to actually get the waste processed. We've actually turned that around where we're getting a significant beneficial rebate to the council, and we've got that guaranteed for the next 4 years, up to the next 4 years. Thanks.
Thank you for those comments, Mr. Boyle. I don't see any other people looking to come in, so can this item be agreed? Thank you very much. Next item, please.
Item 3, City Centre Business Improvement District. You're asked to agree the recommendations.
So this report provides an update on the proposed City Centre Business Improvement District, a bid, and seeks approval for Dundee City Council participation in the bid ballot. A bid is a business-led initiative within a defined area where businesses work together and collectively invest funds through a levy on non-domestic rates. In recent months, the bid project manager and steering group carried out extensive engagement with city centre businesses. This process has helped define the bid area, develop a business proposal, setting out investment priorities, and agree the levy rules. The bid will now move to a vote, which is scheduled to take place between the end of January and mid-March 2026. A further report will be brought to the February committee, providing more details on the proposals and making a recommendation on which way the council should vote. Prior to this, an all-member briefing will take place. Councillor Shaw, I believe you've got the first question.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you, convener, and the rest of the committee. I'd first of all like to put on my record my thanks to Paul Mooney, who originally was one of the chairs of the committee. He's since moved into a bigger, wider role with his company Apex, but he was very instrumental and helpful with the bid process in the beginning. So thank you to Paul for that. Likewise, I would like to bring forward at this committee the fact that our city centres belong to everyone. We're very much in a situation that we've seen over the recent festive period that more and more Dundee is seen as a regional hub for people to come to, voices from as far afield as Angus, Fife, and even Perth and Kinross coming into the city now that we've got those anchors of Fraser's in the Overgate and the new shops there, and Marks and Spencer's on the other side. So to have the bids come in now at this point, I think is very encouraging. It's very useful, and it's great to see that the business community are geared up for this. And it's also useful for us to understand that it's not just about the council and what it can do, it's about those wider communities and what we can do for together. One of the things, obviously, that we can do is support through the city centre investment plan, and I'm really looking forward to 26 coming through with more opportunities for having people living in the city. And just pre the Christmas holidays, I did encounter an investor who is investing in one of our heritage streets in Reform Street and working on the basis that Dundee is a very good place to invest in. So hopefully that will be something that will be very clean and seen. So this is a great step in that city centre investment. I'm very pleased to see it coming forward. So thank you, convener.
Well, thanks very much for your comments, Councillor Storr. And as I said before, it's a business-led initiative, and we very much echo your sentiments. It's very good to see the businesses are taking the lead on this and seeing the benefits they could potentially bring, and are willing to discuss this. And as I say, see what can be done, which has been done previously in other areas with great success. Councillor Duncan, please.
Thanks, convener, and bear with my croaky voice. So happy New Year all. Yeah, they're pleased to see this bid coming forward. I'm aware that, where it's been established elsewhere, it takes several different forms. And so be interested to see how this one unfolds going forward. But certainly on the face of it, I think it's a positive, has positive potential for the city centre, and in particular, and indeed the wider city. My attention is drawn to like 4.3. Where it outlines some of the things that might be addressed. For example, safer streets and indeed cleaner streets being two of them. And certainly myself and my group have often called for such measures. And going on to 4.5, we're told that any proposals that may come via the bid will be in addition to things that are already provided by the council, for example. And so if that's the case, my question really is, what extra can residents expect to see in the way of, for example, safer streets and cleaner streets, if indeed this bid goes forward?
Thanks for the question, Councillor Duncan. I think that would be more a question to put to the bid, or potentially to raise at the briefing that I previously mentioned. But I'll pass you on to Mr. Presswood or Mr. Hamilton for that.
Many thanks, Chair. I think there is a very short summary of what the themes are, and you've highlighted them in your contribution, Councillor Duncan. We do anticipate that a full business plan will be received shortly, and there's discussions ongoing between the bid, Scottish Government and the Council at the moment about that. We intend to bring that back to the next committee, the February committee, which will provide more detail. And we've also suggested that an all-member briefing should be provided before that committee to really allow elected members to get under the skin of what's proposed. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks very much indeed for that. Yeah, I mean, I think the more details, the merrier, as it were, because I note that we're not actually deciding how to vote tonight. that would of course be the next part of it. But I suppose really what I was getting at was like anything in addition to what is already provided is very welcome, but it certainly shouldn't be instead of.
No, thanks very much, and I note your comments, Councillor Duncan. And I think the bid are very clear that this is about giving additionality to services within the city centre. So thanks again, Councillor Flynn.
Yeah, thanks, Convener, and also welcome the report and the enthusiasm by the businesses to see what they can do within the city, working along with the City Council and other stakeholders. I'm just interested, possibly, if the officers can maybe explain why the bid boundary map includes areas which we wouldn't normally class as a city centre. A wee bit of clarity on that might be helpful.
Thanks very much, Councillor Flynn. Mr. Hamilton, please.
Thank you, Convener. I think Councillor Flynn probably recognises that part of the boundary is the area of the city centre as defined in the local development plan. But there are some areas, particularly to the east of the city centre, including Gallagher Retail Park, which do function as part of the city centre. I think the number of linked trips that take place between Gallagher Retail Park through Olympia and into the city centre is increasing all the time. And it's for that reason that it's seen as an appropriate addition to the traditional city centre that's defined in the local development plan boundary.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. Does that answer your question? Yes, thank you, Councillor Flynn. Bailey McPherson, please. I've just seen your comment, so thanks, Bailey McPherson.
Okay.
It was similar to Councillor Flynn's. Are there any further comments on this item? No. Can I take this item as agreed then? Great, thank you. Next item, please, Aaron.
That takes us on to item 4, tenders received by Head of Design and Property, and you have this for approval.
So this item is seeking approval to accept a total of 4 tenders with a combined expenditure of just over £2 million for phase 4 flat roof replacements at Orlett's Dryborough, kitchen and bathroom replacements in the Dryborough farmhouse area, demolition of Craigie High School, and external environmental improvements at Eliza Street. And Councillor Short, I believe you've got the first question.
Again, Convener, it's just a comment, and it's around Eliza Street. We've seen big differences in the last number of years with Craigie Street, Langland Street, and now the trifecta of Eliza Street. And it's really great to see. And obviously, we've got a really robust, involved community in the Stoswell Forum. So it's great to see that their initiatives are bearing fruit. And hopefully, one of the reasons that we're really keen to see these pocket parks in the first instance was the traffic travelling through. We're not keen on traffic travelling through if they're just travelling through to get from the bridge to Forfar, but if they're hanging around and using the facilities in the area, then that's marvellous. It's also good to see that now Ember have decided to stop in Stoswell as part of their route up to Aberdeen. So things are moving in the right direction, and hopefully a lot more of the articulated lorries that make their way down through Stoswell will think twice when they see that actually it's a place for people and rather a place for transport. Thank you.
No, thanks for your comments, Councillor Short, and surely much appreciate. And I'd like you to just commend the local community in Stoswell Forum in particular for all the work to make this happen. And I'm sure it'll be a fantastic pocket park once it's realised, as like similar facilities in the area. Any further comments? No. Can I take this as approved? Okay, thank you very much. And that's the business. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and again, Happy New Year to everyone. Can you just go on the business, please, Willie, please?
Okay, thanks, Convener. Firstly, are there any declarations of interest?
Don't see any. No signals, so we'll just move on, please.
Okay, thank you. There being no declarations, takes on to item 2, minute of meeting of Pension Subcommittee and Pension Board. This is submitted for noting.
It's quite clear. Any comments, questions? No, we'll take that as agreed. Thank you.
That takes you on to item 3, Corporate Services Service Plan. And firstly, I'd like to advise the members that reference in 2.1 to section 4.6 should read as section 5.5. The committee does agree the report as submitted.
Thank you. We'll just take first question, and it goes to Councillor Crichton, please.
Good evening and Happy New Year. On page 20 of the report about the target of delivery and the long-term plan for the future of Tayside Scientific Services, the plan's date was the best part of a year ago, the 31st of March of 2025. Whilst I and obviously my Liberal Democrat group colleagues appreciate that there's challenges in delivering long-term goals, we just want to know and have assurances of what progress is being made on this.
Bring in the Chief Executive.
Thanks, Convener, and thanks, Councillor Crichton. So the work on the review is being led by the 4 local authorities who have labs within them, along with Scottish Government. The work commenced last year, and I'm happy to get an update from those who are leading the project to see if there's any definitive timescale, which I'm happy to report to all elected members via email.
Thank you. Does that answer your question, Michael?
Yeah, appreciate that update. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Billy Scott, please.
Can I ask about the sickness absence days on page 25, please? In September, this issue was raised when we had another service report came before us, and the Chief Executive very kindly afterwards sent a list around all elected members of all the initiatives that have been in place to support good attendance, including the provision of attendance support advisors who've now been in place for just over 4 months. So I just wondered if there was to be a snapshot taken today of the average working days lost, whether we would see a reduction on the figure that's reported in the paper.
Thanks for the question. Lindsay, will you be able to take that, please?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Thanks very much for the question. Yeah, we can absolutely follow up with specific statistics around the impacts that we've had around some of these interventions. We've definitely seen over the last year, and particularly within 2 months before now and 9 months preceding that, a month-on-month reduction in our absence statistics. So appreciate some of the figures within the report are not bang up to date for now, but we can certainly share that with you.
Do that. Okay, thanks very much for that, Lindsay. I don't see any further questions, so we'll take this report as agreed. Thank you. Willie.
Okay, thanks, Convener. That takes you on to item 4, Leisure and Culture Dundee Performance and Impact Report for 2024-2025, which is for noting.
The report provides an annual update for the year 24-25, setting out the financial and performance information on Leisure and Culture Dundee to meet the guidance when following the public pound. 24-25, the City Council paid 11.26 million, which is 55% of LNCD's total turnover. Additional support for property, IT and loan charges amounted to nearly 7.3 million, and rate relief from properties is valued at about 3.78 million. I see the first question goes to Councillor Lynn, please.
No.
Sorry, Daniel, sorry. Councillor Coleman, please.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Happy New Year to all. I've got a question, if I may, Convener. Firstly, I'm sure all members of the committee will agree with me that we owe a debt of gratitude to Leisure and Culture Dundee staff in providing excellent services across our libraries, museums, leisure, sport and culture and other events all across the city. They're vital to the prosperity of the city. As this report covers 24-25, there's a certain poignancy and somewhat irony in seeing the statistics for Care Park Golf Course. Around 30,000 rounds of golf each year are now lost to the city and its citizens. So can City Development Officers please give some assurances of progress in securing a positive use for the golf course and provide a briefing for elected members to provide that assurance, please?
I'll bring in Mr. Martin just to give a short update. Maybe over that.
Convener, thanks for the question. Councillor Coleman, thanks for
bringing that to committee. I can confirm that dialogue is ongoing with a party for that, and as soon as we'll have some firm information in terms of a proposal and a timeline, we'll be in a position to brief members on that and consider it further.
Thanks very much, Neil. That's your question, Daniel.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bailey Scott, please.
I'm going to ask about the satisfaction figures that are there for both the leisure facilities and the libraries, where there's been a drop in both of them. I probably guess that the reason there's been a drop in the leisure facilities is because of the Olympia being closed for an extended period. But I'm disappointed to see the drop off in libraries, because my own experience over the libraries, and I'm in a library every week, despite the difficulty with the finances of the organisation, they still provide an excellent service. So I wondered if there's a specific example you have as to why these figures might have fallen.
Thanks for the question, Judy.
Thanks for the question, Bailey Scott. Those responses to the household survey are disappointing. It's a very small sample group over a rolling piece of time. Local feedback is far, far more positive from that. We have very few complaints and we have very positive comments relating to the services we provide.
That's good to know. Just a pity we don't get that reported in along with this report to balance that out, so we actually see what people are not really actually thinking about it.
Yeah, thanks. It's probably something to take in mind, bear in mind for the next one. Thanks, Derek. Councillor Lynn, this time.
Yeah, I think my question is very similar to Councillor Bailey Scott. Sorry. It's about the satisfaction levels in museums and libraries, which I was surprised by, because I think if you're motivated enough to go to a museum or library, you're pretty much going to be satisfied with what you find in terms of our offering here in Dundee. And you have mentioned, Judy, that it's from a very small sample. I wonder how useful is it to then use that to say, because it's probably not the case or anywhere near the case that 28% of people who use our library service are not satisfied. How big is the sample? I mean, is it 100? Is it 1,000 people in Dundee?
Judy?
I'll take this question. Is that okay? I think, yeah, it is a very small sample. It's done for the local government benchmarking data. So it's the Scottish Household Survey, which is done by the Scottish Government. So the sample is about 200 every rolling year. So it is a really small sample.
200 in Dundee, yeah.
Sorry?
It's 200 in Dundee.
Yeah, yeah. But over Scotland, it's more than that. But the sample for Dundee is 200.
I'm just very sceptical that that's the case, but thanks.
Thanks, Ken. Councillor Black, please.
Thanks, convener. I think this is a very positive report. It shows that leisure and culture are improving after COVID, or recovering, if you like, after COVID. And there's some really good things in it. And I see there's a 52.9% increase in active Dundee membership from 2024-25. So that's great. My question, though, is I see that the library use of digital services has gone up 698%, which is an astonishing figure, and something I think we should hear more about, because it sounds like a very good thing. Culture, the use of digital services has gone down 23%, and that contrasts with the library's performance. I just wondered if we could hear a bit more detail about what's happening with what's happening. Why is it so good with the library? Why has it gone up so much? And why is it not doing so well in terms of cultural digital services?
Good question, Judy.
Thanks for the question, Councillor Black. The difference is mainly in terms of what access we have for digital provision in terms of libraries, and the reason that they're so successful. There's a lot of different opportunities that we have with digital products that are available. With the cultural services side, the focus is more on what staff create and put online, and sometimes the focus has to be more on customers that come in. But we are looking very closely at what more we can do. And there will be an increase in digital activity in terms of the cultural services in the coming months.
Right.
If I can come back, can you give us an example of something good which you do with digital services on the cultural side? Perhaps something to do with the art gallery or
The types of activities that are undertaken tend to be more sort of object of the month type things. So members of staff will pick an object and that's a spotlight on it. We also do where the curators will do narratives and describe different products. There was a lot more done during COVID because obviously there wasn't access, and I think we need to do, and we will be doing more to reharness some of the good initiatives that were done during that period.
thanks, Convener. That's a very encouraging answer. Thank you.
And I think it's worth saying that children's activities were delivered and 6,589 SIM cards were delivered, and data vouchers distributed to tackle child poverty and digital poverty. So it's another positive that comes from the digital side as well. Councillor McHugh, please.
Thank you. Happy New Year to everyone. My question relates to Appendix 1, the service agreement, Part 2. There seems to be a significant reduction in music development attendance numbers. Could officers comment on the reason for that, please?
Thanks. I'll pass over to Judy again, please.
Thanks for the question, Councillor McHugh. There's been a reduction in those numbers, mainly due to the types of activities that we've been delivering. So there's been a change in focus in terms of how much we're doing during holiday periods. But I will get more information on that and come back to you if that's okay.
I would appreciate that. Thank you, Judy.
Thanks very much. And I don't see any further questions or comments, so we'll take that report as agreed. Thank you. Is the business for City Governance. Thank you very much. Have a good night.